Hey folks, Dr. Gerstmar from Aspire Natural Health. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you happen to be listening to this, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I wanted to talk about why so many of us have trouble sustaining our results. Why do so many of us have so much trouble sustaining our results? So have you ever gotten together, like gotten things that are working in your life where you're eating well, you're exercising well, you're sleeping well, maybe you're taking a supplement regimen or a medication and it's really working for you. You're feeling great, you're doing really well. Any symptoms or issues that you have in your life are either gone or they're in a really good place. Like this is where you want to be, and then it comes apart, you don't sustain it, or it's not sustained. Have you ever had that experience? I know I certainly have. This is something that is common. There are a few different reasons why we have so much trouble sustaining a successful regimen that is working for us. But would you like to hear the most common reason? Well, here it is. It is boredom. We don't continue to sustain the things that are working for us. So, in general, we can take the metaphor that there are two different kinds of people. There are your pioneers, and there are your farmers. Now, in this metaphor, these people are different, right? Your pioneers, they're the explorers, right? They like to go out into uncharted territory and explore and look at new things and try new things and do new things and go new places. And they're kind of your restless souls, right? When the new town gets established, they want to push out into brand new territory and go and explore. In contrast, you have your farmers, right? They tend to come after the pioneers. They like to set up a farm, and then they like to just repeat, right? The life of a farmer is following the cycles. You plant and you maintain and then you harvest, and then you plant and you maintain and you harvest, and you find out what works and you just kind of keep doing it again. These people are not adventurous by and large. They like to just do the things that work for them and get on with their lives. Now, neither one of these archetypes here, these two different kinds of people, are bad. Neither one is better than the other, but we need to understand here that it is this pioneer instinct that is double-edged, right? Everything has a good side and a bad side to it. But a lot of us, myself included, and probably you are too, are more this pioneer type of person. You're always looking for new ideas. You're always exploring. You're always trying new things. And the positive side to that is that it lets you discover new and different things. So part of the reason you may have found a regimen that works well for you is because you're more of this pioneer spirit. You like to try new things and do things and experiment, and lo and behold, you found what works for you. Now, the negative side of the pioneer is that they're restless and bored, and sort of the town gets set up and the frontier goes away, right? And then they're off to explore new territory. They don't like to stay put. So we find a regimen that works for us, an eating style, exercise, lifestyle, supplements, medications, whatever it might be. We find out what works for us. We're doing it. Yes, we're happy. But then before too long now, it's boring. It's the same old, doing it over and over again. And then lo and behold, something shiny comes along, right? A new diet, a new exercise regimen, a new biohacking article, a new video blog or podcast or book or whatever the case might be. And well, now that sounds interesting. What I'm doing is kind of boring and stale and lame now, and this new interesting idea comes along. So, you know what? Maybe I'll just try that one out and see what happens, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with exploring new ideas, but in many ways, of course, we need to meld the idea of the pioneer and the farmer together. So one of the main reasons we are not able to sustain the regimen that is working well for us is because it's boring, right? We want to try something new and do something different. And by and large, that is an impulse that we need to resist. Because look, if the regimen that you're doing is working for you, what you need to do is just keep doing it. If you find at some point the regimen that you have is no longer working for you, that is the time to try new things, to explore, to experiment, to engage with new stuff, to see what you need to tweak to change it to something that works for you again. But the bottom line is this: when something is working for you, keep doing it. If you're a pioneer at heart, you always like to try new things, push that experimentation into a different area of your life where something isn't working. Instead, what most of us do, we get bored and then we try a new diet regimen, or we add new supplements, or we get new tests done, or we tweak and modify our lifestyle. And then all of a sudden, that regimen that was working for us before is no longer working for us anymore. So symptoms come back, or our energy goes down, or we're not feeling well, or we're just not in a good place. So what do? Well, it must mean that I need to explore and experiment more, when the first step should be to go back to the thing that was working for us before. Sometimes what we do for people as we're getting to know them and understand what's going on for them, we find out what worked in the past, and sometimes, sounds super simple, right? We go back to the thing that worked for them in the past, and sometimes the answer is as simple as that. Well, you were eating this way before and you felt great. Hey, how about you go back to eating that way again? And sometimes the answer is just that simple. So here's the bottom line. The reason that we often fail to sustain the results that we've gotten is because we become bored and we start experimenting and changing what was working for us before. The time to explore and try new things is when whatever we're doing in our life is not getting us the results that we want. Then is the time to explore. So if an area of your life, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in finances, whether it's in health, whatever it might be, if it's working for you, you need to resist the urge to go and tweak and change it and just keep doing it. Areas of your life where things aren't working well for you, that is where we need to explore and experiment more often. If you were doing something and it was working for you and you changed it, now it's not working for you, the first step is simply go back and do the things that were working for you before. If everything gets better again, great. Just stick with the things that are working for you. If not, well, then maybe it's time to experiment. Maybe it's time to get an expert involved to help and guide you along in the process. All right, folks, that is it for me today. Listen, speaking about principles and fundamentals and the key pieces that we need to do to get healthy, to stay healthy, and to avoid getting sick, I'd like to invite you to get my best-selling book, The Clear Path to Health. All you need to do is go to www.aspirenaturalhealth.com/book. That's aspirenaturalhealth.com/book. Aspire as in ASPIRE, naturalhealth.com/book. In it, I've put over a decade of experience, tens of thousands of hours of schooling and continuing education, and literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of education. I've distilled that down into the principles of health and the principles of disease so that you can take advantage of all those years of school and education, work with clients, and tremendous amounts of money that I've spent learning all these pieces. You can learn it yourself quickly and easily and implement it into your life. We've had people tell us by reading the book and putting the principles into play, they've transformed their life. And that's what I want for you. After all, our mission at Aspire Natural Health is to guide and support people who are dealing with digestive issues and autoimmunity to live bigger and better lives. And your first step is to go and get the book. Go to aspirenaturalhealth.com/book and pick it up today. All right, folks, that is it for me today. Until next time, take care.